Once again, I'll say I'm okay with that because you know what? Friends are a delicacy. Welcome to the Tokyo Ghoul After Show.
It was way quieter than last week.
It was way quieter than last week.
Hello, everyone.
Zach is now the loud one.
I am the loud one, apparently.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that was a lot. It was a lot.
A lot of good.
Yes.
A lot of good.
Just a whole lot. I don't even know if for you really loved it.
Oh, I loved it. It was great. It was amazing.
It was just like, it was all very necessary. I liked it. I didn't love it as much as you. Yeah, anyway, before we get into it, I'm Zach.
I'm Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, we didn't go over that.
And we are reviewing episode 10.
10 episodes. We've been doing this for 9 weeks because we did 2 in 1.
9, yeah.
Holy cow.
I know, right? So yeah, episode 10. As we said last week, this was very much so a setup episode. I assume the next 2 are going to be bonkers.
But it was, I would say it was as far as setup episodes go, it was highly entertaining and not what you would expect from a setup episode. There was a lot of moving parts that I think you feel that were like disconnected, but I felt that it worked really well.
It did, and I feel like this episode, the best way I can put it is like this is a turning point for tons of characters. Like if you notice, like 3 in particular, Haze, Shirazu, and Shu, and Tsukiyama, all of them had like a really strong like growing point in this and took a turn. And so I do think this is like the beginning of an entirely new direction for the show because all the characters are growing up a lot, and this episode did all of that. Yeah. So yeah, the more I talk about it, the more I like the episode.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're coming around to it.
I'll come around. That's
okay.
All right. But yes, generally, just the overview. Basically, the Rosewald or the
Tsukiyama family.
The Tsukiyama family and the Rosewald family are about to be taken down.
Do you want to? Should we clear that up if anybody was confused? Because I was confused for a little bit until this episode between the Rosewalds and like Rose Tsukiyama.
Yes.
Rosewald family was a family in Germany.
They were the German family.
German family that were relatives of the Tsukiyama family, but they are not the same. And Kane is the last surviving member of the Rosewalds.
He's not the last Rosewald.
He's not the last one.
Most of the family is like the servants, all of them. And Matsuri, Kane, Yuma, or not Kane. Kane and Yuma
and
all them.
Eliza.
Yeah, those are all the Rosewalds. So I assume that like they were a German family that probably, because if you notice, a lot of the new CCG members are from Germany.
Yes.
And so they keep talking about how they did so much work over there. So what I assume is that the Tsukiyama family took in the Rosewalds.
Underneath their...
Yeah, they kind of owe them a debt because the Tsukiyama probably like pulled them to Tokyo.
Like gave them an escape.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so that's probably why they're also in love with the Tsukiyamas, because they kind of saved that family.
Okay.
A little bit of that, of course, if anyone knows better, let me know. But from everything I've read and seen, that's kind of the best way I can describe it, because they were the German family. Tsukiyamas are this giant corporate monster in Tokyo, and they live together now in sweet, sweet, bloody harmony.
Yes. Just dripping.
Yeah. And so it's called the Rosewald arc, but they call it Rose at CCG. Basically, what's happening is this whole episode, everyone's getting ready for this great battle. The Tsukiyama family's getting ready to run, and the CCG's getting ready to invade. Kojima's just murdering people for no fucking reason, because he's insane.
And we had an anxiety, stressful, not mental breakdown, but emotional breakdown from Heisei about, this is something that we saw that was long coming as far as, just him, whether he was going to decide whether he wanted to figure out who he was or if he was truly okay. And I feel like now the whole Q's going undercover plan has backfired on him in a way that he wasn't necessarily expecting. Like I think that he might have been in denial about him being the eye patch. I feel like, there were so many clues along the way, and maybe this whole thing was a way for him to discover that.
I think so. I think he's. So here's what we're just gonna go. There's several characters. So we'll do it by character for this. So let's go back. Okay. So we'll start with Heise.
Okay.
Because Heise, this is a very important episode for him. Because so I don't think it was necessarily in denial. I think his conversation with Tsukiyama is the most telling of like his situation, to where it's not that he didn't know. It's more that he knows that if he accepts it, he loses this family that he has, and which has come up before in previous episodes. But in this one, he put it most clearly, where actually Sukiyama asked him, like, "Are you ready to give up this life? Because if I tell you,
you're not going to be able to be this person that you are right now." And
so now, the big point, I think Heise, when he was speaking to Mato, sort of, it wasn't much something where he's like, "I have to know." Like, why? Like, I have to know because eventually this will matter.
Well, and I think the thing that really triggered it for him was the connection that he might have killed Kotaro, which was Mato's partner, which Mato hasn't recognized directly to him, but it has to be in the records. Like, there's no, like, if it's not in the records, they erased it, and that's just more stuff that they're hiding from him, which would lead to more questions for him, which would bring him to where he's at.
Exactly. And it was very emotional. Like this every arc in this episode was very emotional. But this one was really heavy. Like he does have that anxiety-driven breakdown because he's really finally struggling with the fact that not only does he have a past he doesn't know about, but the past he doesn't know about hurt people. Like people have died because of him, and he's such a little sweetheart now as Heise. He's really having to come to terms with that. And he's like, I think he's choosing to face the demons rather than hide from them now.
And I feel like he wants to. If not, I don't think it's so much as that he wants to learn the type of person that he was, because he's seeing flashes of hallucinations or memories or this other person, like when he was sitting there figuring out the Kotaro thing before the breakdown with Mato, there was Kaneki in the back of his mind saying, it's like, I killed him, I didn't want to kill him. He was like,
which is crazy.
And he used what did he use? Amin-san? Like, he used like a respectful name for Kotaro, which,
because keep in mind, Kaneki loved, like, they had a thing, like that was his sort of connection, and because they fought several times, and every time he's like, I don't want to kill you.
It's like, can we please? Kaneki was very adamant about not fighting. He was like, no, I don't want to fight. It's like,
we just have to talk.
Yes.
Yeah, and so they had that connection, and it was a really powerful thing in the original, the first Tokyo Ghoul, and yes, and it was really amazing. I think this turn is going to be huge for Isaac because now he's really accepted he has to. He's choosing to face his demons, and now that he's about to go to battle in this crazy battle that's about to happen, everything I'm sure is going to blow up in his face. Like, it's going to get nuts.
The one last thing for me on Heisei, and this also ties in Mato a little bit, just touching her a little bit. Do you think she was sincere with what she said? It's like, you are who you are, no matter what your name is, because I feel like for her there's an ulterior motive. I'm not sure if she really cares about Heisei as much as she says that she does.
I don't know. It's hard to tell, because I think Mato actually is. Because keep in mind, she's getting tested a little bit. Remember when she saw Takizawa, and she's having conflictions inside of her. She doesn't know anymore if everything is right, because she's starting to realize that, oh my god, my old partners are turning into ghouls, and she also probably knows that he was turned into a ghoul.
And so it's like, are they the same? Is the person that they were still there?
Exactly. Like, where's the line?
Where's the line? It's like, okay, they were human, but now they're not human. So do I treat them as a human, or?
So I think Mato was sincere. I think she really is, like, to her, keeping Heisei as a good person to her would prove something to her. So I think it's less of her really believing it, more of her, like, rooting for him. Because I believe that she's using him to validate her conflicts.
Okay, I can get on board with that. I feel a little bit better about that moment now, because to me, initially it felt that she was, like, trying to manipulate him to stay, kind of. But
I mean, I'm sure it's also that, like, she wants him in the CCG, of course. It doesn't want to fight him, obviously. So, but I do think, because her character seems to be really turning into this, like every time we see her in these episodes, she seems conflicted about what she believes in, and I assume it's only going to get worse because they are putting emphasis on that. But I like that, because she is a character that you would think would be so gung ho, but now she's the one that might sort of find out certain things about the CCG and how it all works. And I like it. I want to see what happens.
Yeah. Who's next?
Shirazu.
Ooh.
Interesting character. He's turning into something cool. I like him.
I mean, heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
First of all, and second of all, you get to see what his true motives are, and him trying to overcome this hill of who he was to who he needs to be to save his sister.
Absolutely. And I like how they did it. They kept it pretty like concise and simple. Him and Urey got into an argument, and then he goes out and talks to...
Urey was kind of a dick.
Urey's always a dick. But he's right. Like, he's just like, if you can't fight, why are you on the team? And because it came up last time where he was like, bring out your Quinca, and he couldn't.
Yeah.
And so Urey had to do it all by himself. And so like, that's a big thing. If you're a soldier and a dude's afraid to shoot a gun...
Well, if your partner can't back you up, he's no longer a help now. He's a hindrance because you have to protect yourself. You have to protect him against something that should have taken two people is now being done by one.
Exactly. And I thought, so when Fura was talking to him, I thought it was a wonderful, and this is another art reflecting life, because this could involve anything, to where he says, when Shirazu was like, how's it going to happen? Like, how do I do it? You were conflicted, how'd you do it? And there's no real good answer to it. Fura tells him, he's like, it doesn't just happen. Like, you're not going to be okay one day. This isn't going to be right. You just have to do it, and eventually the pain fades.
Yeah,
that's the way that works.
That's life.
That is 100% life. Yeah, like, there is no way to deal with.
There's no
anything.
one moment where you're like, I'm better now.
Yeah,
it slowly. It never goes away. It just the intensity slowly goes down.
Yeah, like trauma of any sort, because all this is emotional trauma. Like, he feels like he did something terrible, and he's very conflicted about it, and so he doesn't know how to get over it. And this older, wiser man looks at him and is like, you fucking won't. You're not going to get over it. Things don't get easier. You just have to learn to do it. And that is life. And so I really like that. And so what ends up happening, Shirazu goes and shaves his head and decides, like, I'm going to be an adult. Yeah. I'm going to be a part of this. I'll be the captain, make it work. And he comes in and he seems serious. Yeah. And I hope that he really plays that through.
Yeah, my favorite thing with Heisei is just like, what happened? Did you do something wrong?
Yeah, did someone shave your head?
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I mean, he once again, like this episode, it's all about growth. So this is another character that turned a page.
Yes.
So he is going to be a different character in the future, which I like.
I want to save Tsukiyama for last. I feel like so Kane and Eto.
Kane and Eto.
We can hit both of them at the same time.
Yeah, because it was very short. Like, they really only get like a minute of screen time. But yeah, you can go over it. What?
So this was the very opening, and basically what happened is Eto, she helped open up Kane's view to a broader scope of things of what he thinks he wanted into what he really does want, and it's a very she throws a bunch of philosophy at him, and
she's manipulating him in a smart way. She's incepting him.
Yes,
she is Christopher Nolaning this guy, and she does it so smart.
She does it like the question. It's just the imagery of like the apple, and just like, why did God put the tree of knowledge in the garden, and just kind of like, and you can Kane's whole perception of everything starts to crack.
Yeah. Because she does it right. Like, she goes after him in the right way. Like, instead of like threatening or just like trying to convince him about her, what she does is digs into the thing that most affects him. Like, he has mentioned several times that his loyalty is his strongest thing. Yeah. He's very loyal.
His center pillar. And she takes that center pillar and just crumbles it. And
it's because you're right with the philosophy she gives, where she's talking about, she breaks down his basic ideals, where she doesn't say, hey, I'm better than Tsukiyama, love me. She goes, loyalty is a crazy thing. Like, he doesn't love you. So what is your loyalty worth? And this is about you. Yeah. Your loyalty needs to be to something that's real, or else you're just blind. And that's when she gets into the apple, where she's like, you can worship a god that doesn't make any sense. That's fine. Well, why would God give you an apple? Like, you should eat it and learn how to properly do this. And he has this breakdown. He's like, holy shit, I'm loyal to someone that doesn't respect my loyalty.
Yeah. Well, it was a thing where I think she compared it to Shu it's like what I said last week. Kaneki is Shu's Shu, just like Kane. So it's that relationship, and so Kane has been going around for how long, worshiping Shu, taking care of him. And as soon as he tries to bring Shu back, the thing that brings Shu back is Kaneki Heisei, and not Kane. And so he's having this realization that it's never been about about Kane. Like, Kane is not worth anything to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't matter.
And when you break down someone's internal value, like, it can crush them. Like, 'cause that's what everyone needs to feel worth. And so suddenly, Eto makes him realize, like, you have no value in this.
But, like, creepy little girl.
Oh, yeah.
Creepy
and
little
then the most gangster line, where she's like, I'll be your god. Which is such a gangster, like, especially coming from, like, a little tiny mummy midget. It was so hardcore.
Yeah, and and one thing that I love is that they have cleared away without directly telling us that she is One-Eyed Owl, essentially.
Yeah,
like she has the one eye. And she's a one-eyed Ghoul.
Kagane that she busted out.
Like the eight different ones that she has.
And they're all different colors, just popping all out.
And then detachable as well, which is, ugh.
Absolutely. Oh my god, she is such a thug.
Oh my god.
And it's because it really, the pulled back shot of her, that was so good.
Yeah.
That it was, I mean, her Kagane was like 10 times as big as her.
No, it's crazy. Like, oh my god. It's like, oof. So good.
Sick.
So good. She's going to be one, I mean, and I would expect nothing less from a character who's both the leader of this organization and also a best-selling author. Like well-spoken, just eloquent.
She knows what she's doing.
Knows how to, the inner workings of a mind and how to pose questions and make people really...
Yeah. And she's driven properly. Like, her old story with Yoshimura is dark and fucked up, and I understand why she would be nuts. Like, it makes sense. She's a very intricately made character, and I can't wait for her to really dig in and go nuts.
Suyoshida, just everybody has a purpose.
Yeah. It's amazing.
No one's in the show just to be in the show.
Yeah. And so at the end of that, with the last thing with Kane, you sort of see Eto is transforming Kane into something crazy.
Like...
Because that dude didn't make... Like, you couldn't really tell what it was. It's just him all tied up, and he's sewn together. Yeah. And he's turned into a beast. But yeah,
no, this was the most words we've ever heard her say.
That is true, yeah.
This is the most lines that Eto's ever had in this show. But for the sake of should we move on to our boy
Tsukiyama?
Tsukiyama,
my favorite.
Like, Tsukiyama was one of those characters that I found, like, at the beginning of the show, I was very creeped out by him.
Well, he's super creepy.
I know, but
he refers to his friends as delicacies that he wants to eat.
You know what? But I'm okay with that. Once again, I'll say I'm okay with that because you know what? Friends are a delicacy.
I hope you don't ever eat me. That's weird.
If I gain cockroach powers, maybe.
Anywho, yes. So once again, another character that had a huge moment of growth. I really
a turnaround for him as like on a personal level in the status of his like family and just in his the way he thinks about himself and other people. It was great.
Yeah, he seems more mature. Like obviously he sort of went nuts in the last few episodes. He was running around chasing Kaneki and like putting on costumes and being all crazy.
Crazy suit.
But there was two really, I think, important moments for him. So when Tsukiyama meets Kaneki in the park, or Heisei at the time, Heisei directly asks him, "Are you a ghoul? What do you know about me?"
And like, what an unfair... Well, the first one, unfair question. You can't just...
You're a dove.
You just can't go around asking people if they're a ghoul.
Hey, are you an evil monster?
Who's gonna go like, oh, I am an evil monster.
But he realized it, and he goes, excuse me, let me rephrase that. Were you friends with Ken? What do you know about him? If you know things, tell me.
Yes.
And Tsukiyama, very wisely, in a show of adult like behavior that he hasn't
because he's the same age as Kaneki, or like close to it. Yeah, he's young. He's like post college a little bit, I think maybe.
Yeah, because they were in the school together.
Oh yeah, were they at school together?
I think he's a little bit older than Kaneki.
Yeah.
Either way, point being, same general age. And he makes a decision to not, like, you would expect him to be like, oh, absolutely, let me tell you everything.
He could have done the selfish thing and been like, I can get my friend back. But he very specifically says, he's like, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah. And he asks him, because he knows that if Heisei really truly understands that he will lose, like, this life. And he tells him that. And then he decides to leave.
Yes.
Which is sad and brave and good. And
it just, like, because what he wanted was right there. It was right in front of him, and he could have just taken it.
Yeah.
And instead, he chose to let the other person decide and give him words of caution, saying, "It's like, if I tell you, you will not, like, the person you were, knowing that, you cannot go back to who you are now."
Yeah. And then I really liked that. And I thought that would be like the big moment, but I think there was my favorite moment of it. So as Tsukiyama basically goes home and realizes things are going nuts, his dad drugs him and sends him away because the doves are coming. So Tsukiyama...
The doves are coming! The doves are coming!
The doves are coming! So he wakes up in a car with Matsume in there, and several things, like, of course he freaks out at first. Gotta go save my family. And then there's a really powerful moment that they don't tell you directly. Like you said, they don't really, the show doesn't say, hey, you're stupid, I'm gonna do direct exposition. They do it well to where first he goes back and he's like, I need to go save them, I have to do this, I have to do all these things. And then when Matsume talks to him and says, you are now the head of the house and you have to know this, there's a small moment where he thinks back, he sees Kaneki and remembers how Kaneki had to leave to save everyone else.
And how he led like that little outcropping camp of ghouls that he did and he took care of, and he had to be the leader and take care of everybody and Inteku and everything.
And he had to suffer for it because he is the head of things. And Tsukiyama actively, you see it in his face, and he has that moment where he stops thinking, I want to go save everyone because I want my people, and he starts realizing I have a responsibility.
There's a bigger thing.
And he understands why Ken did it now. So he understands why Kaneki would do that when he used to, like, he was upset about it. He's like, why would you leave me, and blah, blah, blah. Now he sees it as, oh my gosh, like, you're just, like, the head of our family. And you took it upon yourself and you saved us. And that's what Tsukiyama did now. Like, he finally calms down. He's like, all right, let's go. Let's meet the rest of my family. I have to run the show now. And that is a huge moment.
Yeah.
And not just for Tsukiyama, but now Tsukiyama and Kaneki's relationship is different because they understand each other more. Or at least Tsukiyama will understand him more.
And one of my favorite parts about this is, like I said, I love how the show doesn't give us a bunch of exposition. Like, it's great. Because there's nothing more cringy to me is like, hey, like, telling me I'm walking into this room. Like, we don't need that. But my favorite thing was this broad, when he walks into this building, this skyscraper that his family apparently owns. He has all these people who is like, oh, your family has taken care of us, you guys have helped us, blah, 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 blah. And it's amazing to see that you get a little glimpse into, and they're talking about, like, modeling and things like that, and you're just like, you're seeing this, like, there's a whole nother scope to this ghoul world, like how well they've actually meshed in with humans that we didn't get to see because you have this because there are people out there like the Tsukiyama family, and even Papa says it. Papa Tsukiyama says I'm turning my, like, I'm not here to fight. He's like, we're gentlemen. It's like we can discuss, we can do this however you want to do it. We will do it. It's like I'm not, and just like. It's crazy because all we've seen is like fanatics and crazy ass like mentally broken people, but now you have these as far as you can be being as much as you can a mentally stable person for as much as you can be being a hunted species, I guess. Yeah. Just like all these people who are just like, no, we live.
Yeah, like they have real lives. They're real people, and it was really nice. And I loved when they were talking about that, there's like a level of respect, and you kind of see that the Tsukiyama family is like just a benevolent family. Like everyone likes them, everyone respects them, and it was really cool seeing that. That, I mean, it is such a huge world, and that is like underground and no one knows about, but they're people. Like.
Yeah, Papa said it's just me and my servants. He's like, you may do something to me as like my servants are ghouls, but we have lived as people. Yeah. He's like, it
was wonderful. But yeah, so those are the main arcs. There was some other like smaller things. You notice some things with Koryui, like he's running the show here, and he is just gonna be an asshole. He seems like him and Ure have kind of the same thought. They're just zealous ghoul murderers. Kojima's again nuts,
dude.
Also, that chainsaw Quinque is like, gnarly.
This show, like, I would love to see a full-blown R-rated version of the show. Because, like, all we got was, like, a pool of blood, but the head got lopped off.
Yeah,
like,
they hold back a lot.
They really pull their punches on this.
Yeah, because even, like, the manga's all black and white, of course, so it can't be that crazy. But you see some crazy stuff in it. And, I mean, there's people getting their heads chopped off and punched through the chest and kicked in half. Nishio literally kicked someone's head off at one point, which is awesome.
And it's not like it's not a kick, it's like a soccer kick.
Yeah, I know. He just boop, kicked their head off.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
It was like what, episode 2, I think? I mean in the anime, but it's like book 1.
Exactly. But yeah, it's it could get really crazy if they were allowed to do R-rated stuff. But yeah, that's generally the episode.
Anything that you didn't, or do you want to touch on anything? Like, I feel like we kind of touched with philosophy a little bit through going through the character points.
I mean, this is like with the main things with the philosophy here. Like, you get into a lot more psychology in this one about how people deal with trauma. There was a lot of things here.
Yeah.
Because like once again, it's about growth. Like, people are finally deciding to overcome things. But it's pretty simple. Like, while a lot of things happen, it was a fairly simple episode. Like, people are just having these realizations. Eto, of course, is just a philosopher queen. I love how she sees things, because she makes these fabulous metaphors, and this idea of when she's talking to Kane about like who and why to worship, to look at, and these things, you can tell how she sees the world, and she's just toying with it because she doesn't really care.
Yeah,
she's manipulating.
Well,
things.
she realizes that she's just one of many moving parts, and her reach can only go so far, and so she's like, I'm just gonna have fun.
Yeah, but she preys on people's need for. I mean, she uses the like. Fucking Rousseau just spoke about a long time ago, a philosopher, about need for value, need for things, and need for like property, and why we do things and why we act this way. And I think Eto understands that everyone needs a god of some sort, be it an actual religious god, or be it a cause, be it a person, love, money, sex, whatever you need that is like your thing that drives you. That's what she preys on. She preys on it with everyone that she deals with, and she's so good at breaking down people, because she's done it to, I mean, like, people worship her. Like, she is this huge thing that has attracted this crazy following, and
she pulls people. She has a means of pulling people in, and I would say repurposing.
Yeah, people. Exactly. Because she digs in, takes the thing that you think drives you, and can change it, because she's smart. She understands
that doesn't House Slytherin.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. But no, that's really all there was when it gets into like that stuff in this episode. Because it was a very personal, emotional episode. It didn't talk about too many bigger things.
Was there anything that you disliked? I know at the beginning when we just finished it, you weren't too hot on the episode.
I mean, I feel like they have to. I know they have to have these episodes, but I feel like there should have been something exciting. Like, there was a lot. I mean, there was zero action whatsoever. And it's not that I crave the action. It's more so that I feel like...
You crave the action.
Of course I crave the action. I want to see some blood. But I felt like it was a little drawn out sometimes. Like, they're really digging into, like, setting this up. Mainly with the stuff with Hairu and Koryui and the Washu, the new Washu.
Kojima.
Like, I feel like they tried to put too many things in this episode that without giving us a whole lot of direction. Because they did a lot of the setup already in the last episode. It's not even really a dislike. It's just I felt after watching it that it wasn't a full episode, and I don't really know where to place why.
You feel like I think I know what you're trying to say. There wasn't enough of like of all the things they did. There's just a lot of things that were done for a little bit, and you feel like you didn't get enough of one or the other thing, I guess, to have it feel like it was a full encompassing.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. There was no story. There was no like something happens, climax, end. There was something happens, something happens, something happens, something happens, and then it's over.
Yeah.
And because there was like no full finished anything for any character. It was just a bunch of weird collections of things. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Because besides, it really was good. It was pretty too, like the actual like animation of the people in this one, since they didn't have to give any action. I feel like people looked cleaner in this.
Yeah.
So,
one thing that like I don't know if you noticed, but Heisei's hair is almost just blacking.
I was saying that a few weeks ago.
Every single like, especially in the last I would say last 4 episodes, the change has been more drastic between the episodes.
Like, he is fully turning, and I think that's an intentional thing.
Yeah,
because it is a lot.
You don't do something like that in a show or in a book and have it not represent something. I think.
And it made sense.
I mean, and maybe is it a thing where You know what would be really funny if it was a thing where he finally got over the trauma of being Kenkaneki, and then it goes black, and then and then all of a sudden, as soon as it's all black, he snaps again.
Yeah.
And just loses it.
Absolutely. And which could happen because it went white anyway because like the Marie Antoinette syndrome or whatever when he was getting tortured. It's like a real life thing. If you don't know, like there's a syndrome where your fingernails will turn black and your hair turns white, and it's famously Marie Antoinette before she got her head cut off when she was in jail. Like when she was decapitated, her hair was white, and people didn't really know why. But it's like a stress complex.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, when you get really stressed, you start to get gray hairs.
Yeah, and in times of extreme emotional trauma, you can like literally just go white. Like your body like sends out hormones and it fucks up your body, and like your blood vessels pop and your fingernails turn black and your hair turns white. It's very weird. But yeah, because that'd be awesome. Like he turns into Kid and then realizes what happened, remembers Jason, and is like, oh, pop. Yeah. And now I'm white again. But yeah, it was a good episode. I was happy with it. I still give it like a 7.5 and 8 because they did it well, but I strictly on storytelling wise, I couldn't give it a 10.
I'm going to give it a 9.89.
Ugh, that is precise.
Just because, like, I thought it was a perfect episode, but I know that there's better out there. Like, I know this isn't going to be the best episode of the season. Yeah. It's not, or of Tokyo Ghoul in general, because I could argue and say the last episode of season 2 was a perfect episode.
It was really good. They did it really well.
Yeah, especially just the silent walk with the crunching of the snow and just helicopters, just no music, just dead silent. Like, that was... Woo! Yeah. Getting goosebumps again thinking about that one. That one, if you guys want to make me cry, just give me a half a bottle of whiskey and throw that episode on, and I will be bawling real quick. But I'm sorry, I feel things.
I have a heart. I don't. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
We don't really... I mean, the future, everyone kind of knows what's happening. There's about to be crazy epic, wild battleness.
I can't wait to see pink-haired girl. What's her name again?
Hairu.
Hairu. Just do more of what she does because...
Just the Arima cult. I love the
Arima cult.
They call it the Arima cult.
I like it.
Because those kids are savages. And they're all tiny and weird looking, but they're such savages.
They're all skinny and, like, kind of soft looking, like Arima. Like, they're not like the Kotoros or the whatchamacallit, Kuroiwas.
Yeah,
where they're all like...
Yeah, that dude's a fucking gorilla.
Yeah.
And Shinohara as well. Just big, huge dudes. But yeah,
would Mato be part of the Arima cult or no? Akira?
No,
or
not really. She wasn't
like,
on his team.
Yeah, but and she kind of fits that like description and like vibe.
But the cult, I think, is just all the kids that were trained by him.
Yeah.
Because now he doesn't go on the field as much. But yeah, that's about it. You know what's coming in the future. That was awesome. It was a good episode.
Anything going on? Same thing as last week. Season's delivered.
Same shit.
Yeah,
just life is bonkers.
With me, I don't know. Just go check out Boy Hero on Spotify, iTunes, whatever.
It's sick.
Support. We have a Patreon if you feel like supporting in more ways than just liking and sharing our music. That's enough for us. So if you just go out and tell people, we're very happy with that. Yeah, but that's it for me. That's it. Cool. I'm Dan.
Yeah, Zach. Signing out.
Thanks, you guys. Bye-bye, YouTube.
Bye.
Also the masks.